eyes on you, and you got no clue what I'm supposed to do. I can't help myself. Little by little, piece by piece, I take back what's been stolen from me. Little by little, piece by piece, until I'm complete. No, you wouldn't take what's not yours. If you know who I am, when the night will fall, I'll haunt your...
All right, we are getting going here, and we are doing tea time, monster of the week, and some monster brew, as we're getting into that in a little bit. But yeah, welcome. This is GM Balo, and this is our afternoon stream over here with art department over there to my left, I suppose. So there you go over there, and welcome. So yeah, we've got some fun things going over. Excuse me, at GM Balo. If you are if you were part of our dice promotion in October, you are getting some of you are getting your dice, and then or have gotten your dice, and others of you are getting your dice.
They're really pretty.
They are pretty. Getting your dice later this month, and then the last bit of you will be getting them March, my bad, into March, because of the amazing designer we're working with, Terranium Forge, also on Start Playing Games, runs their games, does some really awesome things. She's been working hard getting them out for us, and just doing batch by batch. So yeah. A lot of that's been good. And as one person told us, beware, because these are sharp resin dice, which are highly desirable. And it's funny because I'm seeing a big sharp resin dice trend, even more so than I think in October. I think they're like, I don't know if I ever knew what they were, but now I'm like seeing them everywhere. But we're ahead of it. So you have your sharp resin dice, but someone tried to pick them up with their foot, I guess. Don't do that.
They're sharp.
It's sharp resin dice. So
the name.
Exactly, it's right there. So yeah, that's kind of our fun
Does
stuff.
what it says on the tin.
Exactly. But yeah, so thanks for some amazing suggestions from last week. We have tea this time as part of our tea time, so we'll take a little sip.
It's really warm still. I don't wanna.
Mine's good. Oh, that's a good temperature for it too. I like that. That tastes really good. That's Monster Brew, I believe, from our...
we got chocolate.
Oh, yes, we do. Well, I don't want to show the chocolate because it's got the brand on it.
Oh.
But there are chocolates. Mine is an orange packaging that has yellow and black writing that may or may not have peanut butter covered by chocolate. Anyway, so we'll come in here. Need a warning label for the sharp resin dice. This is your warning label. It's sharp resin dice. It's official when people get it. So yeah, so there's been a lot of interesting stuff. There was another post made by Wizards of the Coast on a lot of the insanity, and it's so interesting.
I'm not reacting.
What?
I'm not reacting.
You're not reacting. It's actually pretty, like, it's one of those things that you could tell that they probably should have put this one out instead of the other one, and a week sooner. Might have been really, really good with that. But I have to say, I feel like they definitely got their tone better. And now, in my opinion, we just need to see if they match what they do. And it's really and I think the purpose of it was really to kind of get everybody from freaking out. Oh, hard to hear, art department. Let's turn off department up.
No, I'm low.
I've turned you up now.
Okay.
You're better now.
Here's my opinion on the whole D&D thing. Read my cup.
Oh my god.
That's the T.
Get us in trouble.
Me? Cause trouble?
Oh, but we will. We're actually going to go through a game not developed, well, not today, but I think next week probably. Some Monty Cook games, which I'm really excited. I love Monty Cook games. They're coming out with Old Gods of Appalachia, which I am so excited to learn to play and run. I've been like having dreams about it, so I am very excited for that. It's actually really good.
Kinky.
What?
Nothing.
Okay. It's actually based on a podcast and a really amazing fiction, and that's so. Cipher System is amazing. First of all, I'm a big fan, but secondly, Old Gods of Appalachia is based on really strong fiction. Hey there, Alex. And that's always fun when you've got like a really strong fiction in a game to go along with. And if people, especially when everyone buys into the fiction, like they make their character to fit the fiction and the fictional world and all those things, and allow the setting to do things, I think it was really, really fun. So I'm excited for that game. And hopefully I'm the Kickstarter, so we should get it whenever it comes out. But I think they still got a month or two maybe in production on that. And fingers crossed they let me run some for Gen Con. It's kind of my hope at this point. But we're going to
But we're
go
not
through...
talking about that today.
We're not talking about that today. I'm just talking about things. What's it? Let's see here. What we are talking about is a game. So it's a game that I've run a few times, but I wanted to start with that because we wanted. Oh yes, there it is. Monster of the Week. I've run it a few times, and it's going to be kind of the first one we start off with playing, mostly because it's really a base. I feel like it's the base for just about any other what I would call cooperative story play of a game, which is possibly one of my favorite, if not one of the favorite games I like to play. So cooperative narrative was probably the best word for it. It's a cooperative narrative game, and it differs from games like Dungeons and Dragons or Pathfinder, or even things like Vampire the Masquerade, Word of Darkness, Word of Apocalypse, Star Wars, the role-playing game. All of those are based on kind of the original concept of TTRPGs, which mostly was like, if I was the DM, which I always was and am, forever DM, right? I would kind of come up with some type of adventure or story. I'd have a lot of things worked out. There'd be all these beats. There'd be these encounters. All this stuff is predetermined, right? And then what goes on from there? Turn that off. What goes on from there is you play through it, right? And there's some variation that usually goes on, and the players have do have things to do. Their actions change the story in some way, but for the most part, the beats are there, right? There's a prepared dungeon for the most part. Now, the way we play Dungeons and Dragons on my channel and on my paid games, thanks to art department who helps me out, we get to allow all of you to change a lot of things. So you make decisions,
like Chaos
and
Rain.
she live paints dungeons and all these types of things based on you crazy people. So that's a lot of fun. But it's still very much like the expectation is like, oh, Matt's got these things going in the background and all this stuff. So a narrative game, or co-narrative game, I should say, like Monster of the Week, is based off the idea that everybody makes characters like normal, but the moves and what you do actually change the plot, or not even change the plot, write the story, right? And so in Monster of the Week, we're going to talk about this. The Keeper, right? The Keeper of Lore, the Keeper of Legends. That name is very intentional in Monster of the Week. So usually I would be the Keeper. And of course, if I'm running a campaign starting Saturday, where I'm keeper, and it's a paid one. You can get into it. It's going to be 4 players, run for 13 weeks, and you you come into it, and as the keeper, I keep the lore, right? I keep like the mythology of the setting in my head, the fiction, if you will, but everything else, and a lot of times that's cooperative at the first session, like this one's going to be, but everything else ends up being together. Even like during character creation, everything starts to begin, and then I just kind of might place a monster with what's called a clock in there, and the clock just kind of says what happens and where it happens and these types of things that will happen after a certain period of time, especially if people don't necessarily investigate it or whatever. um, and then whatever happens. And so based on the moves you have in monster of the week, it's like, oh, like they need to find a way to do this. Oh, I guess we need this. And so together we make this up for the most part. And of course, there's preparation. I might have a list of ideas, there's things you do. But the whole idea is that I, as the keeper, have zero clue over how this thing is going to end. Like I can make predictions, I might know my players, I might know the characters, and so I can kind of predict and kind of prepare. But for the most part, it's like no clue. Because you can solve things really any way you want to with the moves that you have in your playbooks. So what we're going to do today, and again, we're not just going to talk about monster of the week. Oh no, we're going to build some characters. We're going to talk about how it's played, how the system is. Specifically, we're going to walk Paula here through creating a character and exactly
Again.
how that might. I'll probably get one up myself a little bit here.
I think I can put this one away, right? This is the one I want.
So there's much week. There's additional playbooks in Tome of Mysteries.
Oh.
So if you want to look through those, that's up to you.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah. So there's more of that. So
Nobody
so the first thing you do
that so that I actually say Matt's right for once. Okay. Don't clip that. Don't play me like that, guys.
Amazing. So basic idea here is want to make the character, and you can look through kind of the playbooks here to determine what you want to do. And then from the character creation, we can start deciding on a few other things. You could also create the setting first. So actually, I'll ask you, art department, like this is what we don't really do. Just be like, so we can go ahead and create our setting, or we can create a character and then try to have the setting match the character. What would you like to do?
Which do you usually do?
I've done both. I don't think there's a usual.
I will go with the master GM. Lord
no,
Keeper.
This is the whole point. I'm not that in Monster of the Week.
You. I'm teasing.
I know, but so you keep it. So in other words, it's just what you want to.
Let's go Woodstock.
Woodstock.
Yeah, let's do the 60s.
Okay. So like a 60s concert, like that lasts a few days or weeks maybe?
Yeah.
Okay.
Where like if messing up things happen, most people think it's the drugs.
I'm a fan.
Okay.
Fan of that.
Let me turn my phone off.
Cool.
Sorry.
So the purposes of this Monster of the Week, our game is going to be set in a 60s-esque. So era 60s, you're thinking.
Yeah.
And then at this crazy concert, Woodstock-esque. I don't know if Woodstock's like copyright, so we'll say ish. So
giant festival. Lots of drugs.
We'll name it something. And if you have a suggestion on what this should be called, please put it in chat. So the first thing let's do is let's decide on 3 adjectives that's going to set the mood of the concert or this event.
Okay.
Okay. What are some? And I'm going to say I'm using as a resource. I look a lot whenever I world build like this. I look a lot of things like the Quiet Year, and right now I'm actually looking at specifically This is what my camp is like, a woodbuilding game for small places with big questions by Eric Silver. I'm looking at this. I'm going to do a lot by that, and I might improvise here or there.
I'm
But
just looking at a giant.
there's a lot of
chart.
sources for this. Rocket Palooza.
Ooh, I like it.
Like it, maybe. So here are some things that could be. There's like it could be bright, freewheeling, loud, memorable, be volatile, eclectic, gritty,
Spacey,
spacey. So what do you mean by spacey?
like dazed and confused.
Like dazed and confused.
I'm gonna pull out all the old references today.
Spacey. Okay. So that's just the genre of how everybody is there is the idea. They're just sort of spaced out.
Yeah.
Okay. So it has like the spaced out adjective. Okay. Very cool. So that's kind of one of the moods. What's another
Loud.
loud? Okay. So a
Zombie space elves. Yes. I like where you're going.
Is that a bad name? The zombie space elves.
Absolutely. They're the headliners.
The headliners, all the zombie space elves. Oddly, none of those are what they are, but that is what.
You don't know.
No, I don't know.
They could be.
Okay, so it's spacey as in man was spaced out, and then we were loud. Okay.
Yeah.
So I think that's a very interesting thing about the mood. I like that. What's another one?
Or I need one more.
Yeah, one more. But spacey and loud.
Truly. Okay.
Or chat, you can jump in here if you want.
Loud, spacey. Chaotic.
Chaotic.
That's my favorite word.
Okay.
Not
That's
really
just different than
shenanigans.
busy. That's just there's just all types of things going on.
Yeah, not well organized. You know.
Okay, yeah. Well, that's like a Burning Man type of feel. Okay. I feel like
Yeah.
potentially. Okay, I like it. So this event, this concert
Free.
free is
That can mean so many things.
yeah, there's a lot in it.
I
I think we're just gonna have a I'm gonna put parentheses free for autumn there. For autumn's and right there. So spacey, loud, chaotic, and this overwhelming concept of free. All right. So now jumping off this idea, spacey, chaotic, and loud, and possibly free. We know we want to be set in the 60s. We said that. And what does the landscape of this area look like? What do you imagine?
Why does my brain? I don't remember. Was it? Oh God! It was the failed concert that they tried to throw on like a new age Woodstock, and it was like an abandoned Air Force base.
Oh, okay.
I can't remember the name of the concert.
I remember the name, but that's kind of fun. So it's on the Hughes military base,
right?
It's Air Force
because
base.
it's a big flat area, and you already have all the buildings you need to run things.
Buildings. I like it. Okay.
Oh, we could do it like on an island. I like that.
Okay, that could be
because
cute
then
too.
there's like hard to escape kind of things. You can't run away.
That's true.
I like that. That's a good addition.
I mean, I don't know if is it too much to do an Air Force base on an island?
If they could put a prison on a rock.
Well, no, they can do that. I'm not saying it's too much to do. I'm saying is that too when you're trying to build a story, is that like too much concept?
What if the whole island was the base and it was abandoned? That way you don't have to deal with locals.
Okay, yeah, there's no people, but so there's so there's Air Force base with this idea of an island, so separated, not easy to come and get you. Very cool. Okay.
Ace is right. Probably a naval base over an airport base.
Okay.
Naval base makes more sense if it's an island.
It's interesting. Well, maybe what's interesting to me is because an Air Force base could potentially like seems more remote to me, maybe because it's like you have to fly in there, possibly. Like it was
Yeah,
made.
but see, that makes it less remote because planes are a hell of a lot faster than boats.
I suppose.
Plus, boats are like one storm away from you can't use them.
I guess that's true. Right. So the weather's bad. Well, I mean, I guess that's really planes. Well, yeah, but they could become
Planes can
unusable.
fly in rain.
I guess that's true. We'll do naval. We'll go with Ace here. So a naval base. That's a very different feel. Like it's so funny. I think because you know what's so funny, and I don't know what this says about my perception of things. So this could be offensive to people, but Air Force and like a loud, crazy parties seem to go better to me.
That's because I've worked on an Air Force base, and they're called flyboys for a reason.
Yeah. But then again, I know people from the Navy and their parties too. Hey, Gary, we're world building.
I expect good ideas from Carrie because she's an author.
Yeah, Gary is amazing. So, all right. So we're on a naval base on an island. Okay. And we've got our ideas of the event that's happening there is being spacey loud, chaotic, and there's just this free attitude going on. I like
And
it.
zombie space selves are playing.
Yes. Okay. So Courtney has a confirmed that we're okay doing this.
Yeah. Go Navy.
Okay. And we said where we want this to be set. It's the 60s. So that means yeah, so this is the question. Is this based on our real life or history? Or is it like a stranger or more speculative one?
A little bit of column A, a little bit of column B.
Okay. And do we want any real life? Like, is this because 60s is essentially like it's not even Vietnam, right?
Don't ask me
I'm gonna have to
questions
Google
about
something
that
here.
stuff. I can't do math.
These are things where
and
I'm
I can't
not
do
totally here right
history.
now.
Oh, sorry. I just moved a chair and it just made all those noises. Ace says yes.
He says like, yes, I trust. Yeah. So Vietnam was 1955 to 1975.
Yeah. Yeah, but you still can come up with stories that can fill a book, Carrie.
Yeah.
Yes, I have faith in you.
Okay. So
You're
so
lucky
the
if I
question
write
is in
an
our
original
60s,
sentence.
like in the 60s in this, and be it a lot of what we know as the 60s, it came from that a little bit. Or 60s, 70s. I think it's kind of probably where we are. Might be even more 70s. But is that
the height of the Cold War. Now I want to play Russian.
okay? So it's the Cold War too. Okay, that's good.
The really bad accent.
Is that going on?
It's the height of the Cold. It's I kind of like a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B.
Okay.
Well, like think like High Castle.
Okay.
Like that stuff is going on, but it might be an alternative timeline from the one we know.
Where things could be different because of it. There's a different thing that maybe happened. Maybe it ended early, or maybe something else went on.
Or maybe we're all Russian now.
With Russian.
With Russian.
I don't
know. Need the vodka.
Entirely. Perfect. Okay. I like it. So that's something that we'll kind of put on.
I had to sneeze.
Alternative. I'm going to write down kind of High Castle as like as a cultural touchstone.
I need a haircut.
I like it.
Mm.
Very cool. I like it. So here's some things like commonly like the way people think of this world. Do like ghosts exist, robots, or talking animals?
Our main act is zombie. So I'm gonna go. If we don't think they're real, we at least have them in our sci-fi.
Yeah. So the question is basically is like all like commonplace, like, hey, animals go around and talk, like Scooby Doo, right? That's like one where talking animals in that fiction exist, right? And then
Right.
it's like or oh yeah, here's these kids and they have a ghost friend. I guess that's okay. Some of the Hanna Barbera where it's like some of these things are acceptable, or is it just pretty much
I feel like it's Grimm, like the show Grimm, where like they're real, but nobody thinks they're real.
okay? So like like off of today, it'll be
Yeah.
surprising for these things to happen to an everyday person, probably.
Right. Except for
Okay,
some people who are like, no, man, ghosts are totally real.
sure. There's like hunters and whatever people because you do play a group
Yeah.
of hunters typically who are away or something
Yeah.
in Monster of the Week. So okay,
We should have named today's episode How Many Pop Culture References Can We Fit Into It?
okay.
This is good tea.
Monster Brew. Okay.
I might have to make another cup.
So a few things. Okay. So we're going to go around and we're going to talk a little bit about the space that's there.
Okay.
So we know it's a naval base.
Yeah.
I think right away is what's the swimming situation? Is it like safe to swim? Is it only is it based on a lake? Is it based on an ocean? Um is is there an interior way to swim or no swimming?
I feel like it's swim at your own risk because there are legends of sea monsters.
Okay. So
So, like, it's almost like a dare. Like, I dare you to jump in.
okay. Then so describe the water with three adjectives.
Deep, dark, choppy.
Okay. And kind of as a side note, I'm gonna put in things because of Autumn's here. Free the tatas just as a little note in here.
Free the tatas!
That's possibly something that's going on. I like that. Very cool. So what does like I because now you know a lot more about military bases than I do. But I imagine I believe there is like a main gate or that people process through, right?
Yeah, there would have to be a main dock since an island.
Okay. So what does that look like? Like this one. What does this one look like? Like, is it like, because is it like heavily, like it was like heavily security? So at one point it was super armored, and so there's that stuff there, or is it more, um, like this was a base, but maybe it was for people to more relax and get respite before they went back out, so it's not that secure. Like I don't know. What do you
Carrie's
think?
got a point. There should be like one spot that is safe because it is a necessary skill for the Navy. Good point.
Unless that's why they left. But no,
They all got eaten by the
okay,
lake
but
monster.
basically, don't go over here.
Okay. Yeah, don't go over here.
The dare is a maybe don't go here. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, they'd have to have a main port. I would assume it's like walled. The island is walled.
It's a walled island. Okay.
Well, because you're talking security, you want people to just come in that one gate.
Okay.
Like, and obviously there are ways out of the wall, but not from the outside in.
Right. So everyone has to come out of the same area that we know of. You know that is common
Yeah.
knowledge.
Yeah.
There's the main gate. Um. So it's walled. I like that. So then, we'll probably say concrete or something. I imagine because they
Yeah.
want it movable. And then
Well,
does
yeah,
the gate
'cause-
still exist? Is it like a fence, like a chain link gate, or something sturdier?
Well, the problem with like a chain link or any kind of metal fence is that you're on the water, so it's gonna rust.
What is it?
So maybe
So is it
like,
rusty? I mean,
yeah, like it looks like it just came off the hinges. Maybe it was ripped off, but it looks like it was naturally weathered. I'm giving you so much lore to play with.
actually weathered. It was metal. Um, what's something? This could be like a activity that they're doing, or a building that's being used that's in an incredibly inconvenient place.
Oh, Autumn, I love you. Unbeknownst to the people, it is the military did secret experiments and it wasn't abandoned. Everyone mysteriously disappeared, but they didn't. They're all invisible. That's genius, Autumn. I love that. So like playing off what Autumn just said, maybe there's like an old medical building and they're using it to do like bands are like warming up in there, or like they're offering like,
This is where it's inconvenient place.
yeah, like they're offering like it, like almost a battle of the bands, but it's inside this building.
Okay.
And then like whoever wins that is gonna close the festival.
Okay. So there's people playing, like there's regular shows, but there's also this battle of the bands, and that's for the
Right.
closer. Okay.
Right.
So like possibly there's like the big contract names, but then there's like this indie, hey, like
Right.
battle against other indie bands, and then close the festival for all these other
Yeah.
bands. Okay. Where's it located that's so inconvenient? Like the actual, like what makes it inconvenient?
I would say like there's one hill on the island, and it's like one of those stupid hills that's like 45 degrees. No, more important, like, you know what I mean? Like one of those, like that stupid hill in Athens. Where like if you are even the little bit tipsy, your ass is gonna slide down this hill.
Okay. So it's just
But it's like
extremely
the
steep
only
hill.
hill on the island.
Athens, Ohio. Extremely steep hill,
Yeah.
like that 45-degree angle,
Like,
or worse. Actually, I don't think it,
yeah.
it was a lot worse.
That thing was like 75.
It
It
was
was like,
awful.
climb up me.
But okay, extremely steep hill. And it was a medical building, we said, right?
Which is the stupidest place to put a medical building, right?
Yeah, extremely inconvenient. So
I love it.
It's just
It's like if
inconvenient,
you're not injured before you get here, you will be.
right? And then like kind of there. So potentially characters, again, we won't answer that here, but the characters would potentially answer the question or find the question, why was it put here? And those
Yeah.
types of things.
Because underneath is all the secret
Say
experimentation.
it yet.
It's not a real hill.
Um,
Thinking already.
where is the most popular place to hang out? We're getting at the concert, which remember, anyone who have concert names, put them in the chat, because eventually we're going to hear a name and go, yes. So
The cafeteria.
the cafeteria.
Like the cafeteria, because they're all gonna have munchies. And it'll be like one of those big open air cafeterias.
Okay. Open air
Think
cafeteria.
Disney, but worse food.
So like open air, like so there's no roof, you're saying?
No roof.
Okay. Okay. I like it. Is this like provided by the concert people? Like, is this like you purchase it? Like concessions essentially?
Yeah,
Or is it people
totally
making their food?
concessions. Well, I think it'd be like a mixture. Like, I think they have concessions for people like me who can't cook. And then, like, they have like camping spots where you could, like, have a grill.
Okay. Is there what would be a fun nickname for this place? Like, because I just don't see at this event, the cafeteria. I feel like it would have something like cultural.
Mm.
We can think about that too.
I might have to think on that one.
But I think that would be a fun bit of like camp lore, like what that nickname for the place, not camp lore, but like Air Force lore. That would be kind of fun.
Yeah.
Um,
Naval lore.
yeah.
Chowtown.
Chowtown. I'll put it in for now. Chowtown. Very good. So we kind of so next time we figure out the boundaries. We kind of have the boundary. The boundaries are like the ocean and the wall, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything else that that are like natural landmarks or divisions or something of the base?
I would say like an old rickety lighthouse.
Oh, rickety what?
Lighthouse.
Lighthouse. Okay, like a lighthouse is on there. Okay.
You've got to have like a creepy old lighthouse.
Okay.
But
Which
like
would make
one
sense
that's
for like a neighborhood. They have to have something, right? So
yeah. One that has way too many stairs and you're winded before you're halfway up.
Yeah. Like a lighthouse or rickety. Okay. So what types of animals are going to show up a lot in this area?
Seagulls. Because they're annoying as hell. Some kind of whale or dolphin. Oh, okay. So there's this really old I can't remember the town name, sorry. But it was an island and like there were no cats. And then like two different families brought cats. And like 50 years later, all the cats look the same. Because they're all from like those two original cats. So like there's cats on the island, but everyone thinks there's a lot less than there is because they're all sharing genetics.
Okay.
So it has that like creepy deja vu feeling.
I like it.
I hurt my hand.
Perfect.
It might be Japan. I can't remember.
Yeah. I think I might avoid kind of the country here when I'm thinking of it, but like I'm thinking at least part of it has like a cliff face, like steep cliffs or something.
Sure.
Like that would make sense.
That could be the part where you're not supposed to swim.
Okay.
So like you have to jump off the cliff, and that's part of the dare. It'll be the cliffs of insanity. No, it won't, because that's trademark. Probably.
Okay. So I think for this concert, let's do this. With one of the bands, something unbelievable happened to one of the bands before this. What is it? Like, is a rumored breakup because of something, or
we're not doing Yoko.
they're arrested or suspected?
Ooh, drug bust. Because we're like, it's that kind of a party.
Mm-hmm.
It could be like they were accused of smuggling.
They're accused of smuggling.
Yeah. And so like there's a huge like FD is it FDA? Yeah. And they like, stopped them in the motorboats and were like checking all their stuff.
Because there was like a hot tip that they were smuggling something.
Yeah. Yeah.
And from what we know, they didn't find anything.
Yeah. And the rumor is another headlining band called it in.
Oh, okay. Trade by the fellow artists.
Yeah. Trying to steal their slot.
Oh.
Yeah. Let's add some drama. I'm cold.
Big fan. Okay. All right. So initially, everyone's arriving, or people who, we'll say the people who initially needed to set this up,
Mhm.
explored more of the base than was going to be at first used, or maybe even legally leased, depending on how this works. But
Right.
they had found something that has been previously overlooked. What is it?
A bunker.
Ooh.
Because that fits in with that time period.
Bunker that isn't on the manifest or something like that.
Yeah.
Like it. Very cool. At the last moment, there was I'm going to say, since we already did the bands, this can't be the band people. It has to be
Okay.
another part of staff. But a part of the staff was replaced.
Oh, okay.
Who got replaced and who is the replacement?
I think they were gonna have like first aid from like a hospital or something, and they got replaced with like the Red Cross equivalent.
Like a more, first say from a hospital, and it was like, these are volunteers
These are
more.
volunteers.
Okay.
And then you go into something that's more like regulated.
Okay, so was it volunteers, now it's regulated, or is it the other way around?
Yeah, now it's more like a regulated staff.
Okay.
Which is kind of shady because it's a military base.
I gotcha. So it was like, hey, yeah, like who's got some medical training? Sweet, yeah. And then that was kind of how it was going to work. And now it's come under like an organization or company.
Yeah.
Very cool. All right. Yeah. Now to be clear, we might not be playing this world on Saturday. we're
But this gives you a vibe of what you'll
this is like how you
doing
play
on
the game, right? So
Saturday.
we're playing the game this way of kind of going, hey, this is a world, and so everyone just starts answering this question. We create something together. Yeah, undercover CA military medical professionals.
Yes.
Amazing.
You get my brain. You get my warped brain.
I love it.
The game mechanics are amazing.
Yeah.
I really like Monster of the Week.
So we'll say this, something that was going to be a big feature of this space. When we arrive, it is in disrepair. What would that be?
A zip line.
Okay. Zip line. Like it.
Because I just see, here, hanging out with too many military bases, I see Navy people trying to figure out how far they can zip line. Just in my brain, I see like the Army versus the Navy versus the Marines being like, well, I'll go farther.
Based on experience out of military.
Based on experience.
I love it. Okay.
Based on experience with the climbing wall.
Okay. Something got refurbished before they arrived, probably by the people putting on the concert. What is it, and why is it good?
I want to say they like refurbished like the camping area.
Okay.
Like I want to say like they like made it into sites instead of like a free for all.
Dangerous site. So, what does the site have?
Just like a place for your tent and like a little girl.
Tent, grill. What is a bathroom situation?
Well, it's abandoned. So if you really want to try to use the bathrooms, you can, but they probably haven't really had electricity in those buildings. So I'm gonna say porta potties.
So you think there's massive porta potties brought in? Okay,
Yeah,
I think
or if
that's a
you're
big
male,
deal.
just go off the side. What bathroom
What
situation?
I mean, it's true.
Hey,
But
they make a female wee cup, which like basically just aims your pee. So I guess if you're female and you have a wee cup, you could go off the side as well.
yeah, and imagine like, so did they figure out a way to do running water, or is it like all water that's been brought
All
in?
bottled.
All bottled water? Okay,
Because then they can charge.
yeah, or like large reservoirs, because I mean, people do need
Yeah.
to like, have some type of hygiene.
You don't remember Woodstock. Sorry.
No, I wasn't alive. Of course, I don't remember.
Neither was I.
But
There's
even
no
I'm sorry. Like,
hygiene,
like
Matt.
there was a level at which you go for.
Yeah, don't use poison ivy to clean yourself.
Okay.
Ugh.
All right. So that's one thing that they refurbished, and then there is something brand new that whoever's making the concert is put
Brand new.
here.
Okay.
State of the art 60s/70s technology.
I would say that's the main stage.
Okay.
Like that's brand spanking new. That's how they like convinced people to come play.
Perfect. Look this up because I want to know for sure. When was
I'm gonna look what up.
Okay, so Woodstock was like 1969, which is why I keep thinking 60s, 70s.
Yes.
That's why it's in my brain. Okay. Well, I couldn't remember. I was like, I can't remember what it was.
69, baby, for a reason.
Jeez.
Free the tatas! I'm gonna get us banned.
So there is a concert goer here
Mhm.
who is legendary. What did
Mm.
they do, and how was that story turned into legend?
What did they do? What did they do? They have to be like an outrageous rock star. So let's think something completely insane.
Okay.
Elvis. In this world, Elvis is still alive, baby. Let's do that. I'm going off the Elvis thing. And I'm mixing it with a Columbo episode with an Elvis like character. Okay. So, like, there was the plane crash, and instead of like crashing and dying, they crashed it into like a stadium that wouldn't house them for a concert. So people are like, oh, it was an intentional crash.
Amazing. And they were on the plane.
They were flying it.
They were flying the plane. Okay.
That's why they're like, it was an intentional crash.
So that always felt. Okay. Okay. I was trying to think, would there be people there? But no, because I don't think anyone would die necessarily. Because I feel like that's a little.
No.
Because it would be a legend. They'd be like, "What's up?"
Because that would be infamous.
Right. This is like, yeah, like he stuck it to the people.
Yeah, he stuck it to the man.
Okay. I like it. So obviously this concert, there's a lot that's going on. What's like the big event that everyone is waiting for, like that's going to occur either at the end or in the middle, but there's anticipation around it.
The what was the name of the band? The Zombie
Scrolling up.
Zombie Space Elves.
Zombie Space Elves.
They're gonna announce their new bass player.
Ooh.
And it's been kept secret the whole time.
So as part of his the Zombie Space Elves performance, in which they will announce
their new bass player.
Which is interesting because like everyone's sort of around everybody as well. So like, who knows? Maybe this person you're sitting next to is the secret bass player.
Could be them. Oh, or are they pilfering one from another band?
Oh yeah, and like they're gonna leave and leave another band in the lurch or something.
Yeah. Is that why they called in the raid on that other band?
I like it. And like bass players are like calling in sick or something, like not calling sick, but they're like pretending like, oh no, I don't know if I can make it. Like there's this fear in the bands. I like it. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll say this: is there? This might be a little more modern because I feel like this might be a modern question, but I don't know. What is like? I was thinking. I don't know if there's a fandom rivalry or
Oh, that's not modern. There's always been fandom rivalries.
So what? Where like a sci-fi convention? Like stereotypically, people would say there's the Star Wars on the Star Trek, whatever. Like what does that exist here? Where like generally there's two camps of people.
Okay, so the Zombie Space Elves have a rivalry with the Vampire Dracs. We're undead. No, we're undead.
Okay.
We're the cooler undead.
Okay, and is that taken up by like the fans then too? Like those were the
absolutely.
They kind of have.
It's a Cleveland Pittsburgh thing.
Perfect.
We hate you just cause.
So in this, what do we say? What does she call it? The Chowtown. In Chowtown, what is the best food and what is the worst?
Ooh, the best food are werewolf balls, which is a meatball sub.
Okay.
The worst. Ghost salad, which is a tofu salad.
Okay. So I feel like in this alternative history, I'm picking up the vibe that there is like this really big horror thing that hit the whole culture.
Yes.
Or at least the young culture that everyone's like, yeah, like we're this. And
We
It's
made it a goth world instead of a hippie.
okay. Yeah. So the hippie movement was like a goth movement,
I would totally dig that.
but they still
Okay,
freed the
God.
Tatas, which is really
Exactly. Free the
like it's
tatas.
just
They're
who
just
did it
painted
instead of the
white.
hippies. It was the goths. Is really
Yeah.
what we're saying. Okay, I am
You
totally
okay
digging
there?
this. Um, what is something illicit that's a new fad?
Clowns. No clowns allowed. I don't like clowns.
Okay, but I was
They
going to
freak
say,
me
but
out.
people keep using it. It's a fad though. People want the clowns,
Yeah.
right?
Clown noses.
Clown noses. So the new thing coming into the goth Tata movement is clown
Is
noses,
black clown nose.
black clown noses.
Yeah. Sometimes put on the tatas. That's freaking me out. I hate clowns. Oh.
Okay. Now, for the most part, I would say the people organize this are totally against this new movement. They do
Yes,
not want this
100%.
into the thing. What are ways that they try to shut it down, or what are ways people get the black clown noses in past? Because they are like very strict about this.
Well, yeah, if they see it, they're confiscating it. And like they'll search your bags and stuff. So like people are like I think of like the emo clown or the emo hair. So like people are like hiding it in hair bands in their hair. They're like making it a decoration in their fishnets.
Big fan. Okay. Then what is one thing that occurs or say daily, I think. A ritual that happens every day. And is it like dreaded? Like either possibly something that like the like we have to do because otherwise we weren't allowed to have this event. Um or part of the lease, or something that like that the concert like they're trying to make into a thing. Like all these time I remember I was at this one deal where it was like they were trying to make this was like a Christian thing, and it was like they were trying to say no more selfies, let's do Uzis. You had to go around and like take pictures of people like doing cool things and say, "Here's my Uzi," whatever.
So
And
bad.
so, but it was like this dreaded thing. They're like, "I don't want to do this. You like act like you're doing something nice." Um, but it was like they're trying to like reinforce the culture and like this instead of this natural way in which probably this goth Tata movement started. They're trying to like artificially create something.
Like my brain goes to like a no waste movement where they're like, dude, if you have leftover food, you gotta feed it to the birds. But like that feeds into the whole like too many freaking seagulls. So everyone dreads it because they know the next morning everything's gonna be covered in bird poop.
And the seagulls are getting aggressive or something. Yeah.
Yes.
Then Autumnson says
There are no bras to throw in the air. We have freed the tatas. God, I wish we lived in a world with no bras. Okay, continue.
Okay.
This is what you got. Oh.
I am a big fan. So I think that's good. So I have a really clear picture of this world now. It's time to make the character.
Yeah.
So
that's how we start the fires, Autumn. To start the grills, you just burn your bra.
It's the fire starters.
Yeah. I know quite a few girls in high school that could have started some good fires with the padding in their bra.
I like this. So fire starter bras, I kind of for grilling.
Yes. I agree, Carrie. It would be cool because at first there's like ravens and crows, but now it's just all freaking gulls. Hate seagulls. Mean son of a beep beeps.
Yeah, I like it.
Okay.
So in all of this, I think so. One thing that you would probably ask is, we can do this before app. Like so character creation can be very like loosey goosey. So it's,
Loosey goosey.
do you want to?
Landfill chickens.
You can
That
make
is what gulls are.
you can make a character, and then from the playbook you choose, you can
Mhm.
decide what type of like monster hunting team this is,
Mhm.
or we can decide that now.
I think like that depends on what people are playing.
Okay, so you want to pick the playbook first.
Yeah, I think that's smarter, don't you?
It's very loosey goosey.
Loosey goosey.
I think it really depends on the group. So, so I'm going to kind of go through some of these as she's looking at her work. There's the
I'm just
Chosen,
reading.
which is like an ordinary person who's like kind of a Buffy the Vampire Slayer, like she's Buffy, like
Buffy.
you have been chosen to kill the Dark One, whatever. Then there's like the Crooked, which is a criminal turned monster hunter. Then there's like the Divine, which is an agent of a higher power, like Castiel from Supernatural. Then there's like the Divine. Oh, I said Divine. Sorry, the Expert, who's like a hunter who knows all about monsters and magic.
Velma.
Probably not Velma for the Expert. That's more like
Velma's mom.
like Velma's mom. Yeah, Velma's mom would be one from that one, or like
From the new one, yeah.
like Giles would fit that. Then there's the Flake, which is a conspiracy theorist. Right? They're just like, oh, everything is connected. It's always this, The Initiate, you're actually a member of some society. And we can like, again, these all can be turned to something to more fit the setting.
Right.
There's the Monstrous, which is like a werewolf or something like that. The Mundane,
Also known as Jackie's favorite.
yeah, like Xanda or Cordelia from Buffy Vampire Slayer. There's the Professional, like you work for an agency that hunts monsters, basically.
I.e. the Watchers.
Yeah. The Spell Slinger, which is like a trained wizard.
So like Tara. We're sticking with Buffy here, guys.
Yeah,
I
like
don't know
Willow.
why.
Yeah.
Tara more than Willow.
I guess you're right. Well,
She
Sarah
came from a
Invite's- yeah,
family of them.
I get your point. Then there's the Spooky, which is like psychic or magical powers.
See, that would be more Willow.
That is Willow, right? Yeah, Willow would be the Spooky, that type of thing. Or like I think in modern thing it would be like Wednesday from the show Wednesday at this point. She'd probably be a little more like the Spooky type of deal with her like crazy visions and that type of stuff. And then there's the Wronged, which is like revenge driven and really tough. Like the Winchester brothers. Supernatural. And then those are the standard ones. If you go by the standard ones, and then there's like a lot of other ones. There's more. I think there's like the Gumshoe in the tome.
In this one?
Yeah, in the other book.
This one?
Yeah, Tome of Mysteries. There's like the Gumshoe, which was probably more Velma.
Yeah.
But then there's a lot. So give you an idea of like you can actually create your own and stuff, and you can also
Hex.
like. There's a lot of fan made ones. So there's like the Action Scientist. Some examples they give is like the Big Game Hunter, the Constructed, like something that like this thing was built and now it's learning on its own. The Exile, the Hard Case,
The Pararomantic.
Yeah, the Pararomantic. Like your aunt.
What?
Like your aunt. You're like, darn you. Like there's the Meddling Kid, Jinkies.
Jinkies.
So literally, this is the description for the meddling kid. Jinkies. I think there's something more going on here, and Old Man Smithers seems to be involved.
Nice. Yeah, you've got like the searcher in here too.
Yeah. And here's like one idea they even say, like you could be like the summoned, a creature summoned to end the world, but who has decided they do not want to do that.
Okay, I kind of dig that.
Lots of weird powers, dangerous, hard to kill, like Hellboy is what they kind of give. So, kind of given all that, so you've kind of got your setting, and what playbook do you want to start with?
The flake.
The flake. Okay.
Come on, there has to be one conspiracy nut. Just one.
And you decided to come to the abandoned military base.
Yeah. Dude, I'm raiding Area 51. Legally.
So are you there because are you like a faker in the movement, or
Oh God, yeah. 100%.
Or did just both align?
No, I'm a faker in the movement, 100%.
Okay. I'm down. So,
like, I'm the one wearing a band shirt of a band that broke up like 15 years ago.
It's the old one.
Yeah.
I love it. Okay, so here we go. Cool. Perfect. So everything's connected, but not everyone can see the patterns. And most people don't even look that hard. But me, I can never stop looking deeper. I can never stop seeing the truth. I spot the patterns. That's how I found the monsters, and that's how I help kill them. Is sort of the idea of the flake.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So why, like, what is your story for your flake? Give me some
I grew up in a flat earther house. I'm gonna get killed. Yeah, I think I just grew up with parents that like everything is a lie and you need to question everything. And then like one of my parents disappeared. And like, so it's like big conspiracy.
Okay. I like it. So do you feel like you know that something's going on, or are you just wrong about it all? Like is there some
I think I'm like wrong 40% of the time.
Okay.
But like 60% of the time, because I'm just so paranoid, I actually do find things.
Gotcha. I like it. Okay. So in other words, so you've seen evidence of these paranoia
Which
things.
just makes me more paranoid.
Right. But no one still takes you that seriously because you're wrong 40% of the time.
Seriously.
Because like you're unreliable because of that, essentially. Okay. Very cool. I like it. I like it. So like that's not like what about like so they grew up in this household.
Sorry.
What's one thing? So it says pick a name.
Oh, I need a name. I'm trying to think of like the whitest name possible, and the only thing that comes up is Cornelius.
Cornelius.
And then all I'm thinking about is that little prospector. Silva! God, okay.
I think everyone just calls you Yes. Because like no one's gonna say Cornelius. That's the thing. We go, Yes. Come on, Yes. I like it. So that sounds like a man. And then it says pick one from each list. So you can do like wild eyes, moving eyes, focused eyes, searching eyes, suspicious eyes, wide eyes, guarded eyes.
I want wild.
Wide eyes? Wild eyes?
Wild.
Wild eyes, and then do you
Like,
do ridey clothes, casual clothes, rumpled suit, neat clothes, comfortable clothes, or army surplus gear?
army surplus.
Okay, wild eyes, army surplus, and we're assuming you're like the right age, whatever that age is going to be for the concert. Uh,
Right.
um, so if you got the playbook, so in this, what's cool is like you don't roll for stats or anything like that. You actually get to pick your stats, and depending on your playbook, they
Yep.
give you choices, and even like these adjectives we got for the character, they're right in there. They pick one from each list, and you can always add stuff, but it's just to kind of the idea here is you pick an archetype in this type of idea, like a scary investigative archetype, and so it kind of gives you these things to help you fit into the fiction and the idea of what we're making.
Yeah. Like there's charm, cool, sharp, tough, and weird.
Nice. So, which one do you want to like look at those 5 lines of ratings that you get to pick? Which line do you want?
Oh, I'm definitely going -1 charm,
Okay.
-1 cool, sharp +2, tough 0, weird +2.
Okay. So you would put that in your stats there, right on the flake where it
Yeah.
says that. Um, okay. So what I always like to do is stuff like this, and this isn't like what Monster Week says, but this is like my own character creation. Is you'd go by and next to each of those, um, and I would say anything that's negative or that's at least +2. Well, why? Or it doesn't have to be a big why, but it has to be like
Well, okay. So the negative charm is because I cannot understand social cues because everything is people lying to me and hiding bigger truths.
okay. So lack of social cues
Right.
is the
The
charm issue.
negative cool is because literally I'm wearing army surplus clothes from God knows how many years ago.
Okay.
The sharp +2 is because my nose is always reading something about like the newest conspiracy. My weird +2 is the wild eyes and the conspiracy talk. And tough, I'm a bookworm. It's 0.
Okay. Okay. So here, weird. I think I get where you're going to go. Weird here is magic.
Yeah.
So I think the next thing is for your well, actually, I'm trying to think because I wonder if you have do you get any weird moves?
I get like often overlooked. I can make myself unimportant or
Okay, so you use your
unthreatening.
weird for that. Okay, I was just trying to
Yeah.
totally kind of see how that
I
works.
use my weird more for not being noticed.
Makes sense. Cool. And so an alternative rule that they actually do in the Toma Mysteries is that instead of being able to use magic, because like the base rule monster of the week is everyone can use magic, but they have an
Yeah.
alternative one to kind of like say, well, what if you can't use magic? Um, is there like that you get like an additional move of something?
Mm.
And like they have a list, but just what do you think would be like maybe very having to do with what this setting is?
I feel like for an equivalent, it'd be like how in D&D you can see the invisible and stuff like that. But in like this it would be like my brain projects like one of those conspiracy boards with the red lines.
Okay. Okay, so it would be something like whenever you investigate a mystery, you can choose to roll weird instead.
Yeah.
If you do, on a 10 plus or something like that, and we could write it out, you get you know where to go for the next big clue.
Okay. Yeah.
Because like you see this in your line, like you kind of see the connection or something. Like we probably workshop that a little bit, but like and so that's kind of the thing. And this is what we do for a character. Someone say this is kind of what I'm thinking, and we go, let's make a move for that because that's really cool.
Oh. Like there's something similar in here called connect the dots, but that's where you get to ask the question.
Yeah, so we might even change that because you already have them. So
Yeah.
yeah, the next thing would be you'd kind of figure out your base. You get what's called basic moves, which in here there's
Mhm.
things like kick some ass, where you're fighting, investigate a mystery, where you get clues. There's read a bad situation. These all are moves that move the story along.
Mhm.
But you also get so you get 3 flake moves. And once you pick, read what you picked and then why you feel like they fit Cornelius.
I think I would do see it all fits together, which is do you use sharp instead of charm when you manipulate someone?
Ooh.
Because I feel like he's always spouting these conspiracy theories to the point where people like they don't necessarily agree with him. They just want him to shut up.
Okay. So I'm going to pause. Now, the way that really works in Monster of the Week, right, is that means that Cornelius is ideally never going to do something like, oh, hey, like, why don't you come over here, pretty woman, or anything like that.
No.
Because I don't know if they do, we'd say, why don't you roll charm? But we wouldn't say, oh, I get to roll sharp because the rules tell me to.
No.
Right?
No. Yeah.
That's like that Dungeons and Dragons way of thinking. Again,
It's
not
more like
negative. Right. You
it'd be
explain.
more beneficial if we did it this way. And that's like charm, where Cornelius would be like, well, you see, because of this and this and that and this and this and this and that. And if we do this, then this happens. And people are just like, oh, shut up. I will go with you.
Right. So as a character, whenever you would that's like what you take on. Like when
Yeah.
you're like, I'm going to talk to you and I'm going to immediately point out all these things. Therefore, I'm going to roll sharp because I have this move that lets me do that. So if you, in other words, the moves when you pick your moves in Monster of the Week, you get role playing cues and they
Yeah.
move the story forward. And so you don't say, oh, I use, blah blah blah.
Sorry.
You know, instead you actually say all these things and then roll sharp to see how their reaction is.
Right. And then I don't want suspicious mind because I think everyone's lying to me. I don't want to know if they really are. So I'm not going to do that one.
Don't need that dose of reality.
Yeah. I think I'm going to do often overlooked. When you act all crazy to avoid something, you roll your weird. And then on a 10 plus, you're regarded as unthreatening and unimportant. On 7 to 9, you get to choose if you're unthreatening or unimportant. On a miss, you draw lots, but not all the attention.
Amazing. I love it.
And then my final one, I think, is sneaky. So when you attack from ambush or from behind, you inflict 2 plus harm.
Ooh.
And I think that because he's not a tough guy. He's got to like think smarter to win a fight.
Okay. So I love that because if you kick some ass, which is usually how you inflict harm, you're rolling tough, which
Yeah.
I think is that 0 for you?
0.
Okay, which isn't bad. You still likely are going to get a success than not. So and that's the other thing. So this is a 2d6 system. So said that, which means that 7 is the most likely result, right? You're rolling 2d6, which means that the way this game is designed is that you have what's called like a middling success or a success with qualifications. So it's always like something good and something bad happens. It's designed to kind of stay in that realm, especially with zeros. And then if you have a minus, you're going to probably be failing a lot. If you get a plus, you have a little bit more of a chance because you have to usually get like a 10 or higher to be full success. But it's what progresses the story because again, as you make these moves, that's what progresses the story.
Right.
It's and even not even progresses, like makes the story, right? Which is kind of cool. So that's your third one. I like you that you didn't take connect all the dots. That's kind of fun.
No. No, I don't like that.
Okay. Then from there, you'd get things like gear.
Yeah, that's hard. I feel like I have to take like a knife.
Like the hunting knife or like a big knife.
Well, I get one normal and two hidden.
Oh, so it's a hunting rifle. I can see from here. Okay. You would take like a big knife for your like regular gear, normal weapon.
Yeah. And then I feel like um throwing knives and a garrote.
Okay.
Well, garrote because I do the ambushing. I know I can't win a fair fight.
Yeah. So I'm like such a fan of like this. It's like almost like like this mentality of like I'm only going to get involved if I'm totally out of the ordinary, which your moves kind of go into.
Right.
And so, like dramatically, as the game would be playing, right, we would likely see Cornelius doing things to run away from harm, but then trying to come back and take somebody down.
Right.
So you kind of see how like taking these things kind of build this base personality, and then you can
Oh,
kind of
jeez.
build like who they are out of that in a lot of ways. And then and the other thing which I want to do now, but you can add a this is in Total Mysteries. You add a luck move
Mm,
because right now it's just like you mark luck to roll a 12, but usually there's a consequence to using your luck.
yeah.
Which I like adding because it
I
makes it
love that.
a little better. Because so luck you do automatic experience, automatic success whenever you use luck, but you only get so many per life of your character. And then once you've used all your luck, you're doomed because basically the next bad thing that happens is likely going to kill you. Like you're written out of
Oh
the
yeah.
story.
I love that, and I love that with certain um like types, you want to fail to level up.
Oh yeah, well, so that's the thing. Whenever you fail, you mark experience in this game. So then, after essentially 5 experience, you get to level up. Um, usually between mysteries and that type of stuff. So that's basically the best way to get experience is by failing and failing here. So I can I was talking about how the moves work. So whenever you make a move and you fail, like I said, you mark experience, but also the keeper gets to make what's called a hard move. And so it's like I'm gonna let something happen to you here. We're gonna move this in a not great way, and sometimes you can like what's called inflict harm, which is kind of like HP if you play Dungeons and Dragons. Um, but you really get like I think it's 7 harm for the most part.
I was just looking at it. I think you're right.
And but the whole idea behind it is that like again
Yeah, 7.
like worse and worse things happen as you fail, right?
Plus, like I like, which I don't think is in some of the older role playing ones that we used to do, like White Wolf, werewolves, and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I love how harm is split 3 and 4. Like if you have 3 harm, you're okay. You're okay. Any higher than that, and it's like dying. I love that because that also adds to the role play.
Yeah. All right. So to give this idea, I'm going to quickly try to make a character as well. So there's like the initiate, who, since the dawn of history, we have been the bulwark against darkness. We know the evils of the world. We stand against them so that the mass of humanity need not fear. We are the flame that cleanses the shadows. I want to twist it a little bit, I
Oh
think.
no.
And I was thinking about this. It would be like we're. I belong to the concert organizers.
Okay.
So like that anti clown nose thing, and
Yeah.
like the organization that has made this, and I'm not very high up. I'm just there. Let's see here. We'll get a name going. I don't think he. I think he'd have to have like a name that he made up out of something. So
Deathwing.
death. I think I'm gonna call him Nas. like I'm Nos
Okay.
Man. And he is very into the movement, like things I want to do. Record companies and different people have gotten into the movement, and he is trying to work his way up. And they've kind of hired him because if he really wants to move up, so he's very susceptible to their orders to do things that are more good for the company as opposed to the concert movement in itself. But he also really does love the movement, so he kind of has that cred a little bit. But he comes
Mm.
off like a little like people know he works for the man a little bit, but
Just a
like
little
he
bit.
doesn't know he works for the man. Like he doesn't think he works for the man. I think so. I'll go with that. And I'm looking at here's my ratings. So actually, I'm going to skip some of my moves here, but that's a basic idea because I just want something
Mhm.
basic so that we can do introductions
Okay.
and give an idea. So so the idea is you go around the group and you like pick one for each other hunter. So um, if you look over your history from the flake, you've got some
Let me double
options
check it.
there, and you would say, okay, this is how my history or how I'm related to Nas.
I gotta get back to the flake. Okay, history. I feel like we're members of the same support group.
Okay, what are we like supporting? What do we need support for?
Um. ah, let me think. Um. Hey. Trying to think of one like where you know a lot of personal information about a person, but you don't know the person.
Okay, I'm gonna do mine, and then that might help you out. So
Okay.
I like, and the whole idea when you do this, the two people agree. Go, yeah, I'm
Yeah.
cool with that. I like this that you're an ex member of the sect,
Okay.
so you were kind of trying to get the organizations, probably because you were trying to find some theory or try to kind of get that.
Okay.
Maybe I found you out, or maybe someone else found you out. But we're still friends. And then what I would ask, I guess, is ask them how or why they left or got thrown out.
I feel like that's what happened to my one parent. Like they left and I'm convinced they were part of the sect.
Okay.
So I tried to infiltrate
The
to
sect is
learn
the
about them.
organization of like the recording company.
Yeah.
So they're part of the recording companies and they did something to them.
Yeah. Like I'm
Okay.
convinced it's a conspiracy theory.
Perfect. And that's why you left. Um,
Well, no, I feel like they kicked me out
so they
because
kicked
they
you out.
realized I was
So
backtrack.
what if we're both in a support group for betrayal? Because Nas
There you
feels like you
go.
betrayed him and you feel like Nas betrayed you because he reported you.
Yeah.
And we both have to sit there and awkwardly say how we're dealing with the betrayal
I
of one
love it. I
another.
love it. Yes.
And that's kind of this very awkward thing that kind of goes on.
I'm all for it.
But we're still friends because we still were like, but they were really cool.
Yeah.
Like they're cool. But they betrayed me. And we're
Trade me.
dealing with this issue constantly. Okay. And so from there, so that's basically you got two characters created. And then you put out your hunter team, and in the game I'm running on Saturdays, we're running 13 weeks of this, and so that'd be a lot of fun if you want to play that.
So it's like a British show.
It is exactly that. Because that is exactly what I was thinking about when I picked the number 13. Was what if I made it like a British supernatural
It's
show?
a perfect number.
What?
It's a perfect number.
Yeah, and I thought it would be like really fun to kind of go to there. Like Doctor Who does that, and a lot of them do that. And so I was like, I think that would be really fun to kind of have that idea. Because you can kind of get like a nice arc and kind of get out of it. What's this? The sect is an alien organization that kidnaps band members and replaces them with androids. Stolen.
Oh yes, please. Are they invisible androids? Oh, or are the invisible people trying to stop the androids?
Right. And so in the case of this, I as the keeper, like I wouldn't be playing a character,
Seeing the
right?
dots connect.
I was just doing a character. So I, with the keeper, would come up with a series of either like phenomena, situations, and or monsters that are present here. And then during a session, one of them would probably present themselves, and they'd start, and it would start to have an effect, right? And what I have is I have like what happens at certain intervals of time. How does it affect the overall concert? How does it affect people? Do people die? Are people taken over? Are people brainwashed? Are people kidnapped and replaced with androids? Right? All these things are continually to happen, and it's up to the hunters to decide how they interact and possibly stop it, join it, whatever they want to do. And through the course of 13 weeks, maybe 3 or 4 of these monsters would go, hey, join Saturday, Courtney, and be like, we're playing the bass thing. But that's what's so fun, right? Is that you get to create this, and it's just everyone's, and then we play through it, and then it kind of ends after 13, and then you could create a new setting, and it's a lot of fun.
And then the next thing you know, you're playing volleyball on a beach for people's souls.
Yes, that was one Watch the Week game we did, which was like at a beach town. And I made a monster called the Organizer.
He burned my RV.
He was a demon guy,
multiple
and
times.
he eventually tricked everyone to play volleyball so that he could take pieces of their souls. And they had to try to beat him, but they had to beat him by the time the tournament was over. So they couldn't fight him. So it's not always about fighting. So one thing with Monster Week, unlike D&D, is like you're not necessarily trying to beat up the monster all the time. You have to kind of figure out like what are their weakness. What do we have to do to get rid of them? And ultimately, the organizer, they had to make a deal and sacrifice something in order to make it happen, and they did.
And other times, it's about stabbing a fake creature in the back with its own teeth.
Yeah, it was like an introductory encounter, essentially. And so, yeah, and I would say that's the whole deal, and the concert would end at the end, and we'd somehow come to something that was a lot of fun. Also, what I will say is if I am running, I think, Learn to Play one-shots this tonight, actually. I think, or it might just be a Learn to Play session. I got to relook at it. If I was running that, I'd probably run this setting. But maybe we'll run this setting. Maybe request that or whatever. But yeah. So that is Monster Week in a nutshell. And of course, I'll be streaming our actual plays as I always do, and you'll be able to see, what that looks like, the type of dice you roll. Because 2d6, and basically you always want to get 7 to 9 is your middling success, 10 plus is super success, and 6 and below is the problems.
Do you want me to show some of the other games we'll be talking about?
Sure. Do you want to pick which one you want to do next?
We've got some Kids on Bikes versions. Strange Adventure.
Right, that's like an adventure book for kids on bikes.
Kids on Brooms.
Kids on Brooms.
Teens in Space.
All which are based on a similar system as this we reviewed.
Kind of want to figure out how we're going to do this.
Alice is
missing. It's a text game. So, like, very little actual talking.
Yeah.
Blades in the dark.
Recently on Adventure Zone.
Yeah. Avatar! Which came out with a really nice set and a gorgeous map.
Yeah.
And then, I got one more over here, it looks like. Okay. Matt bought a lot of books, guys, and I did not complain.
Yes.
Color
And then, of course, what I
please.
do want to get to, because this is one thing that we might start doing for the
Oh,
Rock,
yep.
like this is Numenera, possibly Destiny, and there's another idea of it, but Cipher system, same system as I was talking about. Gods of Appalachia. So
I kind of want to do Teens in Space next.
you want to do Teens in Space? We might be able to do that.
Yeah. Teens in Space.
I like it.
It's not hoarding if it's books.
Yeah.
Because they don't say the Green Dragons hoard books. They just say they like libraries. Just saying.
Awesome.
I
Well,
might be a green dragon.
that is that. So
Hot.
again, start playing .games/GM/GM Balo. You can find all the games I'm running. You can get to the new Monster of the Week campaign that starts Saturday.
You can hear me scream from the back room.
Yes, I'm also running some workshops on how to do this, how to be a DM, how to be a pro DM. Teach you just what I do. I don't know if I recommend anything, but I teach you what I did, what I do, my techniques, how I just basically
How you convince your significant other to paint multiple minis every day.
that. But again, I'm able and very fortunate and blessed to be able to do this full time. And if you're just interested in learning how that happened, those aspects,
Or just learning on how to be a better DM.
Yeah, how to be better DM. I will go through those things. So you can sign up for that same place, start playing that game/GM/GMBalo, and give me tea suggestions. We did Monster Brew for Monster of the Week. We have some other teas ready.
Okay, also though, shout out to this company that makes the tea. They have the coolest freaking tea tin.
Do you have one of those
tins?
Do you have a tin?
I'll go grab one. Hold on.
These are so cool though, because it was at Misbehave, one of the players kind of suggested this. They are the most amazing and pretty things, and we're very excited. And I put I guess it won't really show, but like the bag of stuff you use to put the tea in, like you put the tea bag in, like it's like huge.
Okay, hold on. Ah, my earpieces. Okay, I'm back. So these super cute little tins. Okay, and then they have like all the loose leaf tea, right? And then they have like this little bit that you can actually, I can't do it because my hands don't work. I got it. I almost got it. Okay, so it's a double tin.
Secret tin.
So Matt was like, oh, you can put sugar and stuff in there for your tea. I'm sorry, I just kicked the camera. So I'm like, oh, that's cool. You know where my brain went, guys? One guess. New dice containers. I just threw tea everywhere.
Oh no.
I think I got it all.
The brand is, we're not representing, no, to represent this tea brand. But I won't tell you it.
It's so cute. And they have a whole bunch of different flavors.
Adisago tea or something.
13.
Let's see.
14, 15. Okay.
Yes, it is.
All the tea bags.
Adagio teas.
Can you see that? Oh, no.
Yeah, there we go. ADAGIO teas.
Yeah. They're really good. Yeah. But the tins are freaking adorable. We got like 5 of these tins, and I'm 100% going to use them for dice boxes later.
Yeah.
Because, like, seriously, if you're a spellcaster, I always play the cleric. You can 100% just pop this bad boy off and put your spell cards.
Oh, that's true.
See? And then you just put your dice in there. And then instead of just having special sets of dice for characters, you can have a special box for your characters. And they're adorable.
That's, you can put a foam thing to keep your mini safe in there.
Yeah, you could. Yeah. Easily.
So they're good. Yeah. But big fan of the tea. And
I'm a big fan of the boxes and the tea. I get excited over boxes. You've seen my back room.
This is true. This is true. Okay.
Yes,
with that,
all
we-
your D6s
Yes, all the D6 are theory.
for the Archfey goddess. Who
Which is the
already
thing
has
with
her own
Monster Week
statue.
and these other games. What's kind of fun is they don't take 2d6 to play.
Yes, hashtag not sponsored, but willing to be.
Please, Adagio. I'll say your name. What is this? Adagio Teas. Please sponsor us.
Please,
Even if
please,
like
please.
the sponsorship is giving me tea.
That's all we want.
That's
And
all I-
cute boxes.
Just give me cute boxes and tea.
Don't even have to pay us. Just give us tea and boxes.
I'll be like, they're awesome. There they are. Awesome. It wouldn't be hard.
They are really good. This is my second cup.
Did you make another one?
I did make another one.
That's fantastic. Anyway,
You left me with the water pitcher back here. What was I gonna do?
it's true. Me.
Silly boy.
All that is set, and I think we will let all of you go. That's things until we do our next tea time. Y'all have good times, good fun.
Oh wait, we're doing tea time.
Oh,
Gotta do it the British way.
yeah.
My little piece by piece. Little by little, piece by piece, I take back what's been stolen from me. Little by little, piece